And to get to the Olivia young lady incident, right? I thought that was very interesting when it came out. Timing, I get it. When other people are talking about someone, it is much easier to talk about them, right? Not many people are comfortable breaking the ice when it comes to talking about being mistreated by someone. Uh, 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 um, like I mean, look at with the Me Too movement. The great thing that came out of the Me Too movement was it gave more women comfort in coming out to speak on their experiences because you learn that you're not the only one who went through this. So that's that. But the actual incident itself, from what we've seen, he made some overt sexual comments towards the young lady. He made a pass at her. Then he did like a weird creepy hug thing with like a little little gyration to it. Had I viewed that in the moment, I would have had no issue with it personally. For people who listen to this podcast, I mean, I've made jokes, I made passes, and I mean, most of it is in the frame of entertainment on this podcast. And when you're working in entertainment, there's nothing wrong with you overdoing things to make a point or to entertain people, right? But it's also important to ensure that the people you're interacting with are comfortable. And when you're in a room with them, it's so much easier because you can like feel the vibes, you can feel everything out. And honestly, that to me was a little bit misguided. I think that if he was just someone on that podcast or she was a guest on his podcast, no problem. But as the owner of the network that the podcast is on, it's like, nah, see, that's where it hits the sexual harassment line because you hold a certain level of power over this individual, excuse me, as the owner of the network, as our quote unquote boss, and you make these sexual passes for the sake of entertainment, or maybe entertainment, and you actually are shooting your shot, but that causes a conflict of interest in the workplace. And I think that's the point that a lot of people are missing on this when they're talking about him and her and oh my god he's a creep. It's like, oh man, really? Maybe other things in his track record will lead you to believe that, and it's just another incident, right? But that specific piece, I go, okay, he said some things, but he's on a podcast. He's like trying to entertain, I think. And maybe you should ensure that you have the understanding with the people that you're talking to so that when you talk to them and you say some things that are entertainment, they go, oh, that's just him. It's nothing. Because I'll tell y'all, bro, I get a pass for saying a lot of stuff to a lot of people that I probably should not be saying. Hold on, man. What's going on with my headphone? Can't hear myself. What do I do? Turn me up in the headphone. Anyways, and I think that was a bad case of that. Now, as a boss, you can't make those mistakes. And long story short, what came out of all of this, I just thought was someone who made a mistake, understanding that they made a mistake, and hopefully there's growth there. Because that's what it's all about. We just can't cancel people every time they mess up. We have to give people the opportunity to grow because it's not about who grows the fastest. Just because you've grown faster than me doesn't mean like you're better than me. You just grew faster. Cool. There were some people who were taller than me once in life and they're not now. There were some people who I was taller than in life and not that's not the case anymore. It's just all about getting there. We're not in a race. We're not in a race. We just have to get from point A to point B. And however, whenever you get there, as long as you get there, that's what's important.